You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid. Hey, Bron.
Hi. Been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah.
In person. We've spoken.
Yes, of course we speak.
Well, I'm just saying, because people are like, but you put it out an episode last week.
Is that how our people sound?
No, not our people.
How you doing, Bronny?
Good. How are you? I'm a little tired, but just giving the caveat to the people. If I don't have my usual
fervor.
fervor.
Late. It's late. What's
and
fervor?
I was up till like 4 a.m.
What's fervor?
Like passion, energy.
And you were at a wedding?
I was at a good friend's wedding last night.
Due to you?
Yes, the bride and groom, and I'm not like, this isn't to make it about me, but
no, I get
literally the only reason they met is because of me at my birthday party.
How things change. I think it's very nice.
If it wasn't, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have met. So it's so weird then being there at their wedding. And I was friends with each of them independently. They didn't know each other. They met through me.
I think it's very nice.
And now they're
married.
I
was roommates with his mom.
And mom went to college with his dad.
Isn't that funny?
It's just fucking weird.
You know, it's also funny. Like, I was telling, like, Uncle Brent's story, like from Skidmore, how I went to 1 year there, and then I got that stupid off-campus dorm. Remember that story? I told you a story.
Yes.
But my point is, if I didn't get that off-campus dorm, I would stay at Skidmore, and we wouldn't be here today.
It's very
Things
weird
change on a dime.
Yeah, I mean,
many things.
The fact that they met was because my friend Garrett decided to come. We left dinner. We went to the bar that we were planning to go to.
But wait, if COVID didn't happen,
absolutely, none of us would have been here.
Correct,
I wouldn't have met Hannah.
Right.
But it's like we decided to go to this bar, and half of the group stayed back because they wanted to get ice cream before they went to the bar. This was a while ago, and then the people who stayed back didn't get into the bar because it was like too crowded by that point. So Garrett and I made it into the bar because we went ahead, and then she was there. And I was like, oh, it's like, and then they met. If he wanted ice cream for those 2 minutes,
which very well could have happened,
they wouldn't have met, and then that wedding wouldn't have happened, and now their children wouldn't. Like, it's so weird.
It is weird how things happen. That's life, though.
And then even with Hannah, like, we've told this story so many times, but also like the day that I handed my keys over, and then went on a date with Hannah, and then I wanted to go on another date with her the next night, but I didn't have a place to stay anymore. So I crashed on Garrett, the guy who just got married. I crashed on his couch because I was like, hey, I want, I need a place to stay.
Right.
Just funny. It's weird.
So today I was visiting a friend in the hospital over in west of the Cleveland Clinic. And for some reason, Uncle Brandon, we went together and we were just talking in the car. So even though this is the weirdest thing, even though I had the Google Maps on the way to get home, I missed 3 different exits and went out of way.
Well, you're getting old.
Well,
I do think that's a you getting old thing.
No, we just talking. We're talking. Yeah. So I missed like an exit. It just happens, right?
Doesn't happen to me,
but my point is that's not true, Bronson. But just so you know, so I'm saying it probably was meant for a reason. What if I didn't? Maybe I'd be in a car accident. You don't know.
No, I agree with you. But then it's like there are a lot of things that I think where it's like, it happened because that was the way it was meant to happen. But then that's like means that there's something else.
Who knows?
But sometimes you experience something and you're like, it's something, there's more to what just happened than just fucking nothing.
Well, there's a lot of things in life that might have been bad things in life that you realize that it happened for a reason to bring you to a certain position in your life.
But But
whether you're fired from a job, I don't know the answer. I'm just. It's a nice way of looking at it, maybe.
But do you agree? Like, have you experienced things where you're like, this was too
coincidental?
Yeah, like that it was bound to happen, and that it feels more than just random.
For a guy like me who's more black and white tangible, who's against that philosophy, the answer is yes. I have had those things happen.
I know, it's weird.
We'll never know.
No, but it's just weird, and everyone listening understands it. They're like, oh, I've experienced things like that too.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that your journey, if your life has ended up well, knock on wood, or whatever it is, then the good and the bad and the ugly is part of the journey, which brings you to where you are.
Yeah.
And
In
it
the-
allows you to grow and get stronger and relationships stronger and you as a person grow and prosper and assuming you learn from your mistakes.
Right. Well, that's what makes that's what makes like a life worth lived. And
there are some people who just don't learn from their mistakes at
Right.
all.
In the movie The Brutalist, which I loved, and
It's 3.5 hours, you said, right? I have to watch
and
it.
I do think about it often because there's
Is
so
it on
many.
TV?
We own it on Amazon.
We own it, okay.
Yeah, so if you go to Amazon,
I'll have to break it up into 2 watches.
well, it has an intermission. You can end like there's literally a part 1, and then it jumps 10 years, and then there's a part 2. So it's pretty much 2 movies in one.
Okay.
Hour and a half. -ish,
Okay, I can handle that.
Um,
Amazon, right?
but the movie ends with like
Don't tell me.
no. It's not a spoiler. Just the last scene of the movie is like a retrospective on he's an architect, right? The guy, and it's like a retrospective on his life. Flash.
Yeah, I get it.
It's not spoilers. And his niece is giving a speech about him, and she says like, it's not about. I mean, there's a whole great speech that really leads up to it, but she says like, my uncle lived by. It's not about the destination; it's the journey.
Journey, right?
Like it doesn't matter where you end up, but it's how you got there is what makes you. And so it's like
and there are bad times in that journey, just the way it is.
Yeah.
So
I have a funny,
a
quick funny wedding story, because a lot of the friend who got married, I've known him since kindergarten, so it's like all our friends.
Even when Hannah and her mom were at Jones on 5th is the weird
on 3rd.
That too. She was on 3rd and 5th. No, but isn't that weird? And I picked.
And you picked up the leash.
I have no recollection.
No, I know, but you picked up the dog's leash and handed it to
up.
your future
Daughter-in-law.
No, you handed it to Edith, I think.
Okay,
you handed it to,
Macatatum.
like, isn't that weird?
Fucked up. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So it's, a lot of the guys that were there last night are my friends
Must have been
for
nice.
literally over 20 years.
What was the name of your band, your bar mitzvah?
Drawing a blank.
Half of them were there.
No, all of us. It was me, Zach,
should have
and
played
AJ. We were, because they had a band. And
Do you
so
know how to play still?
Yeah. Zach, AJ,
That would have been great if you did that.
It's not our
You can't
wedding.
do
But
it.
Zach, AJ, and I were like, oh, we got to get up there.
What about at your
And then
wedding?
AJ,
Will she let you?
AJ grabbed Hannah. He was like, by the way, we're playing at your wedding.
And what'd she say?
She was like, okay, sure. I mean, we're not going, like,
Why not? That'd be great.
we're not good enough to play.
What song was
It's
it?
Also, we played Smells Like Teen Spirit at my bar mitzvah.
Oh, you got to do it.
And the 3 of us were there last night, and we were like, we got to get
You
up there.
got to do it. She won't let you?
No, she probably would, but it's like, doesn't fit in the vibe of the thing.
Oh, that would be clever.
But it's like, it was so nice seeing a bunch,
It is nice.
15 friends that I've known since literally I was 4 years old. That now it's like people live in Chicago and LA,
Yeah,
and
they
New
live their
York. And
life.
people are all over the place. And then you get everyone in one room. It's just very nice. And now everyone either has like a wife, a fiance, or a serious girlfriend. Everyone has these people in their life, so it's nice to like then meet those people and all that stuff.
Everyone's starting to expand their family tree.
Yeah, but then all of our like partners, significant others, whatever you want to call them, because they, some were wives, some were fiancés, some were girlfriends. They all were like, "Oh, let's take a photo." There was a photo booth. They were like, "Let's take a photo together." So they left for like 20 minutes, and all the guys were just on the dance floor dancing. It was fun. And then Hannah came back, and she's like, "I have something so funny to tell you." She goes, "When we were taking the photo booth picture, we were just hanging out talking, whatever, all the girls." And then one of the girls said, "Guys, do you think," because they'd never like seen all of us guys like as a friend group together. She was like, "Guys, do you think like we are dating like the nerds?" And
the answer is yes.
Hannah was like, "Yes, you're just realizing this now." And half of the girls were like came to a realization, like, "Oh my God, my boyfriend was like a nerdy kid in high school," because this group, like, look at them. They're dweeby. They're dancing on the dance floor. They look like fools.
No rhythm.
They're in medical school. They're doing this engineering.
Right,
these were the nerdy guys. And now that's our partners. And it was only like Hannah and one of the girls that were like, "Yeah, no shit. Do you not know your fiance?"
Were they not the nerds, the girls? They were so cool?
No, I don't know, but it was just funny. It was like, yeah, honestly, look when you
That
look around,
is
like I showed
pretty
you that
funny.
picture, and it's like, yeah,
that is pretty
we
funny.
kind of were like, I
That is
wasn't
pretty
the cool
funny.
kid in middle school or high school. Not that there were cool kids, but it's like,
Right. No, that's pretty funny.
yeah.
But listen, you don't want to peak too early.
No,
Seriously, you don't.
as a girl, life advice to young women listening: like, you want the nerdy guy, Because you don't want the guy who was like too popular in high school, because that means he like either didn't respect women, or he fucked around too much, or he bullied people. It's like you don't want that guy. And the nerdy guy in middle school, high school is the one that you know is going to be successful. And he's going to...
Just a nice guy.
Right. And it's like he's just happy to be with someone is a beautiful woman.
It's cooler to be a nerd today than it was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Because it's just different. And people are more inclusive of one another and more accepting.
Yeah. If anything, now I feel like... Well, actually, it's changing now. But I feel like 5 years ago, 21 Jump Street, that was like the whole point of the movie, was that... Channing Tatum thought, I was so cool in high school, I'm going to come back and run this high school. But then the whole social thing flipped, and the nerds were the cool kids.
Right.
And so Jonah Hill was like the cool guy, and the jocks were like the losers.
Yeah, no, it's a different time. But I'm glad you had a nice time, though.
Yeah, it's just nice to see, like...
How many
seeing
people are
old
coming
friends.
from your high school to your wedding?
Well, I don't know who's coming yet, because like we don't have RSVPs back.
You didn't send them yet, either.
No, the invitations are sending out next week.
Right.
Probably like 10. Well, I guess you have to factor in their girlfriends and stuff. Or like 15 people
It'll be
from
nice.
Pinecrest.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, because then there's also like the Fiedlers I'm inviting and the Sotos.
Right.
So, yeah.
It'll be nice.
Yeah.
We
it's
booked our
crazy.
tickets to the Sotos.
Oh, really? I don't think
Yeah.
I'm going to go to that.
No, you kids are not going.
Yeah.
You too, but Mom and I booked it, and we're going to Croatia beforehand.
That's another wedding of a family friend.
Croatia should be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Todd and
Yeah.
Jill are coming.
And then my bachelor party's next weekend.
Yeah, got a
For
lot
those,
going on.
For those listening.
Got a lot going on.
In Austin. If there are any listeners who live in Austin,
Reach out to Bronny.
yeah, we can, do a... We're going to be out on the bars.
It is funny how...
Or if you have any recs, if people are listening and they have any Austin recommendations, then send them my way. DM me. Because that'll be helpful.
Got a lot of good things going on. So, let's talk about White Lotus.
Okay. The last episode. Because when this comes out, there will have been a new episode. Like, there's an episode that's airing in 45 minutes.
Which I'm
from
watching
now.
tonight.
Yeah, same. So we're talking about last week's episode. Because you were like... Well, first of all, everyone has been saying this season sucks. Nothing happens.
Okay, this last week, not the one that will be out now, but the one before,
Yeah.
was the most active. Like, a lot of crazy shit's now hitting the fan.
It felt very like it's building to something.
Well, it built,
Yeah.
right? The episodes prior to, boring.
But that's what White Lotus is.
The other one's a little more... The other two seasons, kept my interest more. I'm now watching because I have to watch it because I'm already in.
It seems like a lot of shit's going to happen.
Was a lot...
But there's only 2 more episodes left.
There's 2 more episodes. Right. And this season, unlike the other 2 seasons kept my interest more. This last season has more like 4 or 5 things going on, where the other one only had 1 or 2.
There's a lot more individual storylines.
Right, but if they have 2 episodes left, how are they going to fucking handle it?
I don't know. I think it's all going to come to a head together, maybe. Like instead
But
of getting
last
resolved
week's was a
individually.
good week.
Yeah, and then in the middle of the episode, there was the
Baby
but, like,
Bobby, Billy Bobby Baby.
little baby Billy.
That too.
Um,
Little Baby Billy.
yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Great writing, by the way. Come
Or
on.
baby.
No, it's Baby Bobby Billy or
No,
something.
it's not Bobby Billy. His name's just Billy, and they call him Uncle Billy. Uncle Baby Billy. I don't know. That's from Righteous Gemstones, a different show.
He's in that other one where he's like half dead.
In Fallout.
When's that coming out again?
I don't know, but it's coming back.
It has to.
Walton Goggins is everywhere. He's killing it.
All right, so that's gonna end.
I met him once.
Have you seen Running Point with Kate Hudson?
No, doesn't
Okay.
really look interesting to
Okay,
me.
it's gonna 100% come back second season.
Okay, but
That was good. Just saying, we're just talking about second seasons.
do you think I would like it? Like, it didn't look very good.
I know you're a little bit snob. Because I like the light
No,
stuff.
I'm not a snob.
The
but,
people that have watched it liked it.
but I feel like it's like a parent show.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, like Dead to Me. That mom watched.
That was fine. After like 6 episodes, like, okay, just...
It's the same thing over.
Yeah, I was like, where are we going from here?
This was I liked it. All right, so good.
White Lotus, there was a whole scene in the middle of the episode that I'm sure people who watched it know what I'm talking about, where Sam Rockwell shows up.
Who's
also
a great actor,
phenomenal actor, and his wife is the blonde woman in the trio. The trio of women, the friends.
Which one, short hair or the one?
The very short hair, blonde
That's his
one who's
wife?
like said I voted for Trump. That's his wife in real life.
Yeah, I don't love her.
Oh, I like her. I think she plays that part so
She
well.
does. She was in The League.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little annoying.
Leslie Bibb.
She's a little annoying.
Her and
That's
Sam
his wife.
Rockwell are together.
And Sam Rockwell's great.
Yes, he really is.
Yeah.
So he shows up and he they do a whole 10-minute conversation.
Interesting.
About how he moved to
Thailand
because he
Bangkok.
liked Asian women.
Right.
And then he realized that it actually wasn't he liked Asian women. It's that he felt like he was an Asian woman, or he wanted to be. But so then how he's not trans. He was actually like kind of a masculine dude in the show. He like was a criminal.
Right, brought the gun.
He brought him a gun. So he like clearly.
What's the other actor's name?
Walton Goggins.
Love him.
Weird name, but
he's great.
Yeah. So
Even
Sam
his
Rockwell
look is good.
Yeah, and his voice.
Yeah, his mannerisms.
And so you watch Invincible, right?
I haven't watched the season.
Okay, this season was the best one. But Invincible.
Seriously, this season was the best one?
Yes.
I got another thing to watch now.
So you know
what's it on?
Prime.
I'm watching.
You know Cecil, like the guy the long hair who has the scar on his face, who like runs
That's
the Pentagon.
him. Yes.
That's his voice too.
Okay.
He's everywhere. That guy.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Fuck, who's got time now?
By the way, Invincible was I loved it this season.
Really?
It was great. I thought it was the best one.
All right, I'm gonna watch it. How many episodes?
8 or 9.
Half an hour episodes?
No, like an hour. 45-ish.
Fuck.
So then
I got Invincible to watch, Reacher, all right, and Gemstones. But only one episode's out in the Gemstones.
Yeah, Gemstones is once a week.
Right, okay.
Fuck. So Sam Rockwell was like, I realized I wanted to be an Asian woman. And then so he was like, I was fucking a lot of Asian women, and then it wasn't doing anything for me anymore. So then I wanted to get fucked by a white guy like me and then dress up like an Asian woman. And it was like he went on this whole thing. But then he was like, I'm not gay. I don't want, like, I'm not transitioning.
He's like, I look around, I'm fucking myself. It was the weirdest thing.
So the thing is, you were like, I hate
it
this.
Was, no.
Not I hate it.
No, I found it cringy and weird.
So a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying. It was a weird thing. But the guy's face was the best.
His reactions.
He's like,
Yeah, like what? I mean, imagine one of your friends telling you that.
I wouldn't be that silent.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say?
I'd be like, you're a fucking retard.
The thing that I found interesting about that is, I think we've talked about it on the show before, but so a lot of people were like, had backlash to that scene because, I mean, some people just completely misunderstood and were like, this is like liberal, like, oh, the liberal trans agenda.
Well, I didn't
is
find
keeping
that.
it. And it's like, no, I think it's actually the opposite of that, because there's a whole like scientific. Okay, I
thought it was just done for shock value.
I think that Mike White, who's the creator of the show, who is a gay man, I think he was making a statement on like the modern trans movement, because 30 years ago, there was like a sign in, the DSM-5. It's like the psychologist, every mental disorder is listed in this like psychologist booklet. And, it's like all the diagnosis. And there was a thing that these psychologists came up with, like, they diagnosed all these men. It's called autogynephilia. It's like you're an autogynephile. And it's someone who is sexually aroused by feeling like the other sex. And that's all it is. They're not, like modern trans people say like, no, I'm not a guy. I am a girl, right? And then they transition like I am a girl. This autogynephile thing, it was before this whole trans thing. And it's like, the idea was it's just men have these kinks, because it's only men. It like doesn't really apply to women. It's like men have these kinks, and this is just one of them. And it's like something in their brain is fucked up from some, like maybe their mom didn't, hug them enough or something. And so they are attracted to
being fucked in the ass.
They're attracted.
That doesn't make you gay. I mean, I'm asking.
No, it's according to the psychologists from back in the day. So the thing
is, I guess because you don't want men, but you're still attracted to women, but it's a turn on.
You're very right. You're very attracted. You're only attracted to women, and what turns you on in that, if you're an autogynephile, is feeling like a woman, because you're so attracted to women that like it turns you on to like feel what the woman is experiencing. I don't know. We could look up like the psychology behind autogynephilia.
Never heard
but
of
the
it.
thing is, right. So the thing is, it was like a popular, idea just in there were books written about it and all this stuff. Because apparently it's like popular.
Okay.
Apparently it's like way more men than people think.
Well, I just think men are just dogs.
Well, so that's the thing. It's like at the end of the
Men
day,
will fuck anything. That's the way men are.
yeah. At the end of the day, it's like men are so sexual and then also like sexually deviant. Like a lot of men, you know, something when they were a teenager shaped their psyche and their sexual proclivities, and then now they have a crazy kink.
Or maybe that's what the men really are, and society trims that down because people want to be embarrassed. But if you let men really be men, they would do whatever.
Yeah, but I think that there's a lot of...
I mean, American Pie, the show... Yeah. I mean, was it American? The movie, whatever.
Yeah.
He's fucking a cake.
Well, that was just because he was like needed to jerk off.
I understand. My point is,
yes, but men are very sexual.
But men will do whatever to get off.
Yes, but I think a lot of like modern sexual deviations. I mean, actually, they're not modern. Like, you know, kings back in the day did crazy
was years
sexual
ago,
shit.
Even worse, right?
Yeah, like a lot of people have done really deviant sexual shit. I think a lot of that is not. I think men naturally, innately, are just like very, very sexual, and it's like they're just, you know, especially young men, like just very sexual. But then I think things happen as men are like, you know, going through puberty. Random things happen, and it like changes it gives them a kink, and then they become the, you know, sexual deviants. But I think autogynephilia is just one of those. But the thing that happened is like once the trans movement started picking up in like the early 2000s, this autogynephilia was like the antidote to it, right? Because if you're saying I'm a man, or I was born a man, but I'm actually a woman, I'm in the wrong body, and the reason why I know that is because I want to be, you know, fucked by a man. I don't want to be doing it the other way.
Why can't you just be gay?
Right. So at first it was like people were just gay.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
No, but the thing is, a lot of trans people are like, I feel like a woman inside.
Oh, please.
But so this autogynephilia, which came before, the psychologist would have, you know, early trans people that went to psychologists, the psychologist would have been like, no, you're not actually. You are a guy. You were born a guy. You are a guy. You just have this sexual kink where you like to envision yourself as the woman. That's how you get off.
Okay.
So autogynephilia was like the liberal left movement.
Now it's nothing.
Completely cut it off. It was like, it's demonized. If you talk about it online, you know, like there's this very famous book that was written by some psychologists in the 80s that like laid it all out. And, you know, a lot of right-wing Twitter over the last couple of years has like been bringing this book up because like, this is what the trans movement is. And so now like if you bring anything about autogynephilia out,
they knock it down.
Yeah. It's like
sort
you're
of like
being anti-trans.
Just like that when during COVID, you couldn't say, what was that with an M or something that to get it treated?
Oh, ivermectin.
Yeah.
You
couldn't say that. You get
right because it was like literally, and that's actually a perfect analogy because ivermectin.
Thank you.
Because like ivermectin directly solved the issue.
Correct.
Right. It was like if you took it, you didn't get COVID. And this autogynephilia, like it solves the issue of trans. Like,
right.
It literally is just like, no, you're just a kinky guy.
Right. That auto thing is probably more scientific and medically researched than just the liberal woke bullshit.
Or just someone saying, I feel like a woman.
Right, because I identify as this, and because people want to make money, the medicine says, okay, I'll do that.
Right, and now we have to do all these surgeries and all this stuff. Hormones.
It's shocking. Mom and I were in the mall yesterday, and even when we went to dinner, you see these women that are like 50, 60, even 70, the surgery in the lips so bad. They look like fucking retards, Bronson, that the doctors should never do it. They do it for money. That's my point. Fucking, even mom had a laugh. Like mom was pointing. Like,
and they all look the same.
But they.
And then also speaking of trans, I want to get back to that thing. But speaking of trans and that too, the issue is that like all of the plastic surgery is plastic surgery, right? Like if you want, and the procedures are all the same now. People want a certain type of cheekbone. They want a certain type of chin.
They look the same, yeah.
Certain nose, certain lips. So the thing is, you know, women are getting these surgeries, but then also trans women, like men, are getting those surgeries to look like women. So the issue now is that like women are making themselves look like trans women. You know, sometimes
extreme, yes.
Sometimes you see a woman, you're like, that's a tranny, and then you're like, oh, actually, no, it's just a woman who got so much work done.
Yep.
But it's like they've gone so far, like
it's ridiculous.
They're a woman, but they're getting so much surgery that now as a guy, you're like, oh, that might be a guy. It's so
right,
ridiculous.
and we've done that. We've asked her. We question it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's all the same surgery.
From mom to comment some of the people in the mall yesterday, you
Yeah.
know it's fucking bad.
Yeah.
It was a trigger for me. And the stupidity people, not only the way they look, like fucking they don't look like retards. They look like clowns.
Yes.
Clowns.
Because they have the big cheekbones.
No, clowns. They look like Jigsaw from Saw.
Yeah.
And then the stupidity on top of it, it's a trigger. I had to fucking walk away. I can't tolerate people. Fucking dumb fucking people.
But with White Lotus, I think Mike White was like making a statement because that scene it lasted a
10
long time.
minutes, easy 10 minutes.
It was clearly you were sitting there. You were like, they're trying to tell me something because it.
So what does the internet say?
It didn't serve any purpose for the show.
None.
There was nothing for the plot.
None.
So I really think Mike White was like saying the trans movement is like kind of bullshit, and it's really just straight men who have a weird sexual kink.
Could be.
Because they also made this guy
a macho dude.
Yeah, he was like wearing a tight shirt. He was clearly like ex-military or something.
No,
He brought a
he was
gun.
the shit.
He was like, I can't drink anymore because, I get too fucking crazy. I love fucking women.
Right.
So they made him very clearly straight. And the guy was like, I am straight. I just love fucking women so much that I wanted to get fucked like a woman.
And I'm fucking myself.
Yeah.
He's made that very clear.
And he was like, I want to look at an Asian woman as I'm getting fucked. And I want to look at her like she's the one. And when I watched that scene, I was like, Mike White is calling out autogynephilia.
Okay, because you know more. I just looked at it like I thought he was going for shock value.
Okay, but also Mike White, and I know this for a fact because he said it and also he's placed hints. Mike White is like very much on Twitter and on the like there's a bunch of Twitter accounts that I follow that form a lot of modern culture, in my opinion. Like a lot of it becomes downstream of them. Like like Red Scare is a podcast of these two girls who are like constantly posting on Twitter and they talk about these kind of things. Bronze Age Pervert is another one who like talks about all these stuff. Raw Egg Nationalist. These are weird names, but they're called Anons. So like they create an account under a different name and then no one knows who they are. Like Bronze Age Pervert, that's his account name. Up until a year ago, and then he released himself. But for 10 years, no one knew who this guy was. And he has millions of followers, and he's posting all this stuff that's like... So, when I've been following his stuff for a while, and it's like really, really great. He talks a lot about the culture wars and all this stuff. He wrote a book called Bronze Age Mindset, talking about a lot... Like, you would like the book. He talks a lot about how, like, the modern world is just so fucked up, and, like, all the politics has gotten crazy, and they're trying to trick us with all the trans shit, and... Whatever, a lot of that stuff. When J.D. Vance was on the campaign trail, someone caught him holding the book, Bronze Age Mindset. And also it's self-published, this book, right? Like it's not mainstream. These are like kind of lower key things. So anyways, these people talk a lot about autogynephilia.
So wait, someone caught him with the book, J.D. Vance, and what happened?
No,
backlash?
It backlashed, but then a lot of people like me were like, oh, J.D. Vance knows what's up. Because if he even knows who Bronze Age Pervert is.
He's with it.
And then he's reading the Bronze Age Mindset, then he you're right, he's with it. He knows what's going on right-leaning Twitter, which is where like everything gets started now. And then 6 months later, then it gets picked up on CNN. It's like all the real shit is starting on Twitter, and then it falls.
Interesting, okay.
So all these people talk about autogynephilia all the time because they're like, the trans thing is bullshit. It's actually, they're just autogynephiles, and they just want attention, and they're confused.
There's a lot of attention seeking with it, a lot.
Yeah. And so Mike White, I know, follows these people because he's placed hints in his shows. He's talked about how much he loves Red Scare. So based on that evidence, I think he's making a statement about that.
What does the Twitter shit say?
Let's see if White Lotus autogynephilia. Let's see. Newsweek says, what is autogynephilia? White Lotus goes where few have dared. A 4-minute scene from Sunday's episode of HBO's Busy Cell has gone viral. Episode 5, the scene involves... Okay, I'm going to keep skipping. The monologue was quickly linked to autogynephilia by none other than Dr. Ray Blanchard, the Canadian psychologist who coined the term in the 80s during his studies of patients seeking what were then known as sex changes, right? So it even started as that. Blanchard theorized that trans women, those assigned male at birth, experience sexual arousal at the idea of themselves as female, positing that gender transition in these cases is driven by an erotic fixation rather than an innate gender identity or sense of being born in the wrong body.
Right, it's huge.
That also just makes more sense. Like,
Because
you're
it's
born
okay.
in
You
the
could
wrong
be
body.
kinky and turned on by it. That's
Right.
okay.
And people have every kind of
kinky shit. And what goes on behind the bedroom? Two adults, let them do what they want. Who cares?
And it's like the human mind is so complicated that people are attracted to everything. Like there's so many
and there's nothing
things.
wrong with it.
Right. But then to like be cutting off your testicles at 8.
That's the propaganda.
But then it's like, okay, so we've gone, if you just are like, yeah, I'm a guy, but I just like doing this. It's like, okay, that's one thing. Whatever. Do what you want to do. But if you're like, okay, now
you're right.
You're a 5-year-old boy and you said that you feel like a girl, we need to cut off your penis. We need to put you on all these chemicals. We'll change. It's like, whoa. Now we're in a whole different world.
Uncle Bran told me, and I see if it's true, that New Jersey is the only state that when a kid is born, they have on the thing,
the birth certificate?
Before birth certificate, asking the parents, how do you want your child to be identified?
Oh, I don't know if that's true because it's the opposite. The liberal notion, like the idea of liberal gender assignment, is that you don't assign a gender.
They said unknown, male, female. How do you...
No, but I think it would be the...
Look it up.
Yeah, we can look it up.
I'm just saying.
Because a lot of places are...
How fucked up. And you know how many parents can be like, we'll let the kid decide.
But that's what I mean. A lot of parents, like liberal people, are saying, we're not going to assign a gender at birth.
Oh, you have a penis. It's a fucking male.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's fucking retarded. That is even allowed?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are...
That's
but
retarded.
Actually, it's not allowed anymore because federal law now under Trump is there's 2 genders. That's it.
But Jersey?
So, like a lot of... it is not allowed to say an unknown gender. It is illegal now.
It should never say that, though,
because
period.
People...
Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, unless there's like those very, very rare complications where it's like they have a penis and a vagina.
Different story. Then
That's
they
not
go
what
into
we're
the
talking
circus
about.
and make a lot of money. But
Yeah,
my point is...
That's not what we're
I'm talking about
also.
if it has a penis or a vagina, it's male or female.
So and we'll get back to this, just aside, that because Trump made it executive order 2 genders, that's
right.
It. That's the law of the land.
Which I agree with.
Now, people who are trans over the last couple years, like if they were a man and then became a woman, they got a new passport. And it said woman, female on their passport. But now, or it either said female or it said X. Like it didn't have a gender.
Okay, do you understand? It's like dressing up in I know it's not, don't get mad at me, people. Your passport should be not, if you're a man, it should be a man because someone's like you're dressing up. It's like a disguise. So can't you say, I'm a murderer, now I'm going to change it? Like I committed a crime.
It's still your name, and it's still connected. Like you have to get a new passport from the State Department, so it's still connected to your
Change the name. Change the name from Frank to Francis.
But it's still connected to your social security number. Like it's your identity. But with Trump, now that they changed the rules,
I know. But if you kill somebody as Bob, no one knows you killed somebody, and you only witnesses. You just do the fucking transgender thing.
Before I'm even caught, you're saying?
Yes. Just saying.
No, but I think it's all too connected.
No. All right, go on. What were you saying?
So now that there's only 2 genders.
Have you been whitening your teeth?
No, but I'm going
I
to start.
I started already because I drink coffee every day.
I'm going to
start. They look any better?
Yours do. Yeah, yours
Good.
look white.
Good.
I'm going to start now because now.
Right, you fixed it.
Which is so nice. Like I ate an apple yesterday, bit right into it.
Bro,
no problem.
Been telling you
like
for
a normal person.
Been telling you for a year.
Yeah.
Cost me $1,600. Should have done it sooner.
It was very worth it though.
Good. Well, it was not for me.
No, I appreciate it a lot because
no problem.
My life is now honestly drastically better. That my
because you want to do like every 3-4 days, so you want to get going with it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
So a lot of trans people were posting online that they got shipped a new their old passport was deemed invalid, and they got shipped a new one with their gender assigned at birth. So like the famous one was
true.
Hunter Schafer, who was the person in Euphoria. Did you watch Euphoria?
No.
She's
you said I'm too old for it.
Yeah, that you are. But right. she's an actress, a trans woman. She was born a guy, now she's a woman. Famous actress. And she posted a video where she was like, I just got a new passport in the mail. The State Department told me I needed a new passport. And it says male on my passport. She's like, I'm not a male. And now her old passport is invalid because it said female. And
is she going to sue the country?
No, I mean, that's the law now. But I mean, I see a lot of people are saying it's danger. I don't know. I see both ways it's dangerous.
Well, you can make it on for either one.
I do see how it could be dangerous for them. Like, she looks like a woman. Hunter Schafer, fully looks like a woman.
Show me a
If
picture.
she travels to a country, like let's say,
And it says male.
they're going to be like, your passport says male, you're a woman.
Right, it's fraud.
Well, right. Like this is a fake passport. You can't
You're
come.
right.
Like that is
I
an
get it. I
inconvenience.
get it. Or
But also,
someone could go to beat her up.
right.
that's
What
not
if
right
she
either.
travels to Dubai?
I get it. I get
and now
it.
they're like, male, female. Oh, it's like outing her
I
as
get it.
trans.
I get it.
And in some countries, it's illegal to be trans.
No, I get
and
it.
so now she can't go to. I mean,
I
she's
get
also
it.
was a famous person, so they knew it anyways. But
Let me
then
see a
again-
picture.
I mean, now that I told you she's trans, you'd be like, oh, I see it because I do see it. But let's see.
Let me see. Show me a picture.
Do a Schaefer.
I don't know if I would know that's a woman, a man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like, if she showed up at border control, you wouldn't be like, oh, this is a guy. But then you look at the passport, so that's what she actually brought up. She was like, it's dangerous
I think
for us,
I hate to say this. I think it's mental illness.
or autogynephilia.
Right.
It's so here. Let me. It
but
says
you said mental illness.
yeah. The term itself is Greek, meaning love of oneself as a woman. The debate over autogynephilia. Discussions about autogynephilia ignited across social media following the episode, with heated conversations taking place on Twitter. Search interest in the term surged, and transgender forums overwhelmingly dismissed the concept, arguing it was a bigoted misrepresentation of their lived experiences, right? So that's like what I was saying. Autogynephilia is not real. This is a critic of the theory. Autogynephilia is not real. Of course, people want to feel good about their body to feel sexy. Also, there's no true trans woman. Another person said, a flawed framework. So, I mean, there's trans people are saying autogynephilia is not real. But if you say, as a straight person, transgenderism isn't real, they'll be like, you're erasing our identity.
Of course, that's like anything else with the fucking liberals.
A trans worker and author of the book Whipping Girl argues that autogynephilia is used to delegitimize trans identities, reducing gender transition to an erotic impulse rather than a deeply felt need. Blanchard's model is built upon a number of incorrect and unfounded assumptions, and the data he offers to support it is deeply flawed. But it's also like, what's the data on transgenderism?
Come on, yeah. And it's all subjective anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, one issue in the ongoing debate coming at the time when the very concept of transgender identity has been under attack is whether autogynephilia applies universally or describes only a subset of trans women. I mean, this keeps going on, but clearly it's contentious, and that's why I was like, if Mike White is giving a platform to this idea, I think he was, and he's a liberal man, but I think he was like taking a stance against transgenderism.
Well, I would think gay people that don't change their look would be against transgender.
They are, because it's erasing their community.
Correct.
It literally is.
And I would think that women should be against transgender.
Yes.
You would think.
It's like a
It's
like
you
a
know-
cancer.
you
It's
know-
going
you know-
in
you know
and
what it's like?
attacking all these.
It would be like if you had Hamas saying, I'm a Jew.
Yeah.
Seriously, I would take offense to that.
I saw
Right?
Yeah. Steve Saylor is he's actually one of those guys that I was talking about, like, who's on Twitter, and he's a reporter, and he writes these essays about all these different topics, like long form essays where he goes really into the data, and he's like one of the only people that just tells the data how it is, and like he wrote this whole article about how IQ points across the board, all in every situation, are significantly lower in the black community. Like, black people just have significantly lower IQ points, and that's just what the data says. He's like, say whatever you want to.
It's not racist. It's just
right. Like, he just talks about data, and a lot of people would be like, I will never write that artital because
they think it's
I will
racist.
hide the data because that's or
Right.
the data is just flawed or whatever. So that's Steve Saylor. He wrote an article about how 20 years ago, there were a bunch of lesbian lesbian bars. That was like a huge thing. Every city had a bunch of lesbian bars, and it was a huge thing. The lesbian community, they all met people. That's where they, whatever,
Right.
like, that's,
Right.
whatever. Now, there were literally like 4 lesbian bars in the entire country.
Why?
Because there's no lesbians anymore. Because every would-be lesbian is now convinced to become a man.
Interesting.
So now they cut their boobs off and they go, I'm a trans man. And there literally are no lesbians anymore. And so all the lesbian bars have gone out of business. And it's like, so they say LGBT, the community. It's like, no, the T's are eating all of the, like, there's no other community.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's lesbian, gay,
bisexual, trans. But the trans is taking over all of them. Gay men are being brainwashed to say you need to become a woman. And lesbian women are brainwashed to be saying you need to become a man. But then it gets even more complicated because it's like, if you're saying, okay, transgender, I mean, first of all, it's so oxymoronic that they say, like you can't say there are only two genders because that's like erasing us. But then they say, I want to, like, I was born in the wrong body.
We're the only ones that exist, right?
Well, they say you can't say there are two genders, but then they live their life as if there are two genders because they say, I was born a woman and that was wrong. I need to be a man.
Good point.
Not I can be, some fluid thing,
right?
Or whatever. They're like, I am a man, and if you call me anything else, you're wrong.
But that's two genders.
But that's the binary. It's like, okay, so then you're saying that you were one and now you're the other. That's the binary. But then it's also like if I was like a gay man or a lesbian woman, I'd be so offended by trans people because they're literally saying, no, you can't be gay. You're like gay men. No,
are they saying that though?
Yes. A lot of the messaging to that community is saying like, it's teaching the young, like new up and coming gay community, like who's going to be, teenagers who are just figuring out they're gay. All of the messaging is like, you're probably not gay. You're probably trans. And so then they go and do all these surgeries.
And the parents fuck it up too. And here's another thing, the parents that, like if your kid is an introvert or whatever it is, they're going to make them transgender parents or the kid will want it because
it's more attention.
And
then also I think a big thing.
A protected class where people have to walk around on eggshells and be nice to everyone.
Right. And then meanwhile, 10 years ago, once like a gay person was a gay person, it was just like, okay, like they already had everything.
And nobody cared.
There were no issues.
But no one cared.
No. But now it's all these issues because of the trans.
Yeah.
And also a big thing I think with it too, and I think maybe more of this will come out, in the next decade or so as dust starts to settle, especially now with like transgenderism is kind of on the decline because of Trump and the culture and everything. I think a big part of why it became so popular and why it was being pushed over, oh, you're 13-year-old Jimmy, you think you're gay? No, you're actually trans, is because there's so much more money if you take just one person, a gay 13-year-old and a trans 13-year-old, the gay 13-year-old costs $0 to the system because he just is gay. A trans 13-year-old's like, okay, now the medical system gets to charge him for hormones, gets to charge him for
I'm sure it's big money.
Boob surgery, for penis surgery, for jaw surgery,
Blockers,
for voice surgery.
Right.
It's like each trans person is worth $50,000 or more to the medical system. And
which is so corrupt.
I don't have evidence for it, but I've seen people like have, written articles about it. I bet that there's evidence, and we'll start seeing it more, that like the medical system has been pushing the trans narrative because they're like, this is a great money
revenue
maker.
Stream, yep.
And that's fucked. And it's literally at the expense of gay and lesbian people. So it's like the trans movement.
Look what Fauci and the Democrats did with the fucking with COVID and all this shit and killing other people for their own financial benefit.
Also,
and Pfizer and all these places with the pharmaceuticals. I mean, it's all about money. Everything's
and
money.
Fauci literally killed like half of the gay community with the AIDS epidemic. He like stopped gay people from being able to access drugs that would have saved them because
when was this?
Back in the 80s.
Oh, he was the one too?
Fauci ran the AIDS epidemic. That's where he made the name for himself. That's the only reason why he was chosen as the person for this.
Oh, my God.
It's because he literally was the doctor of the AIDS, crisis in the 80s. But then since then, RFK wrote a book called The Real Anthony Fauci, and he details all of the evidence about this. I haven't read it yet, but apparently...
I bet it's wild.
Yeah, people say it's literally insane. And a lot, like Rogan talks about it all the time, and he says, we know it's true because RFK has never been sued for it. If it was not true, and the allegations there are so damaging to Fauci, why wouldn't he have sued him for defamation? Like a book literally saying like he killed all these people during the AIDS epidemic.
I got to read this book. How do we get it?
You can get it
on Amazon?
Yeah.
do it right now.
And
What's
it's
the name
short.
of
It's
it?
only like 200 pages.
Or what's the
The
name of it?
real Anthony Fauci.
I'm 100% gonna.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I've been
I'll get it.
wanting
for you.
to.
I'll get it. I'll keep
Yeah.
talking.
So
oh my god,
it really like the trans movement is so anti the LGBT movement, because I feel like the LGBT movement is about accepting people for
comes
who they
up
are.
first thing on it.
Yeah, it's a
No.
popular book now because a lot of people are reading it.
Oh, it's cheap.
Yeah, it's short. It's like I think you can read it in a day.
All right, and I'll get it to you afterwards.
And you're supporting RFK.
Done. Hardcover.
Yeah, over soft.
Yeah.
If anyone listening has read it, let us know what you think.
I love Kennedy.
Yeah, same.
We needed him years ago.
He's banned red 40 food dye. He is converting a lot of these companies are now using tallow instead of seed oils. This is a new thing this week that that Kennedy did. He created a website. He now is making it because he's in charge of the CDC through Department of Health and Human Services. He's now made it where the process is every vaccine manufacturer. Let me see if I can find the website. Every vaccine manufacturer now needs to list on the government, the CDC, or wherever the government's website is. Every vaccine manufacturer for each vaccine that they have has to, by law, now list every single ingredient that are in the vaccines and what they're used for. And then Kennedy and the CDC or whoever it's going to be are going to mark what are like bad, or not bad, but like could be potentially harmful ingredients. So then you as a parent, because the worry is like,
right,
there's these irritants.
Right, the mercury thing was an issue.
Right, because the whole reason why vaccines...
Your Aunt Donna still believes that was the issue with her.
Yeah,
with
there's evidence for it.
There's a lot.
And it doesn't mean, no one should have vaccines. It just means that that's a
There's
risk.
a risk.
And we should assess those risks.
And it should be the parent's choice.
Yeah,
but
for most things.
Right. There are certain things you have to get because your
Right.
kids are going to school with other kids.
Yes, but then there's like measles, right? Which is now, there's like some pockets of in America, like
I think
but
kids
it's
should get
only
those shots.
Amish, like the Amish who don't vaccinate. Now they're getting measles. But the thing with measles is that nowadays, I don't know all the data on this because I was just listening to someone talk about it recently on Twitter, or it was on a podcast or something. Apparently, like measles doesn't harm anyone anymore. Like we don't need to be vaccinated for it because modern medicine just completely solves it. And then there's also a big theory now, or I mean, I guess it's been a theory for a while, but it's gaining popularity now, is that people they say the polio vaccine was the best thing to ever happen because it eradicated polio. And the smallpox vaccine.
Polio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smallpox vaccine, one of the greatest things to happen because it eradicated smallpox. The issue is the big vaccines that we think of as like saving, influenza, smallpox, polio, these drastic things, they were all developed right around the time as as germ theory was becoming a thing.
Okay.
So it was right around the time as people started washing their hands. Doctors started making sure the operating room and
Too
hospital
clean.
were very, very sanitary.
So therefore you don't build immunities.
No, it's the opposite. It's that a lot of people are saying it might have been a correlation rather than a causation thing. That the polio vaccine, yes, as it came out, polio gone. No one gets polio anymore. But also, right as around that time, medicine started becoming sanitary. So polio, I don't get the flu shot. I haven't gotten it for years. I never get it. But when I get the flu now, first of all, flus don't spread as fast because it's like if I go to a doctor, everyone's using hand sanitizer, everyone has masks on, right? So things don't spread as much. Back in the day, a doctor would come up to someone with some smallpox, they'd put their fingers in their mouth, and then go to the next patient, and then they would just spread the thing right there. So as these vaccines were coming out, doctors started realizing, oh shit, that's how we're spreading things. So a lot of people are saying maybe it wasn't the vaccines that eradicated it completely.
That cured it.
It was a mixture of the vaccines that were doing some work,
And cleanliness.
but a lot of it was people were just realizing, hey, we can do better about stopping. I get the flu and I feel a little bit sick for 2 days, but then modern medicine, I can handle myself, and I'm not vaccinated against it. If I got the flu 200 years ago, I'm fucking dead. I'm just dead, right? So that like,
I got
think,
the shingle shot
yeah,
at my age.
yeah. But so RFK is now making it so that parents will be, everyone will be able to see like, oh, this vaccine from this brand has this irritant in it, and I might not want to put that in my child's body. I think that's, again, it's just transparency. He's not saying make these illegal.
Our government has been very transparent.
Yeah.
I mean, transparent in everything.
He's not saying no more vaccines. Kids shouldn't be getting vaccines. He's saying, look, you should know what's in these things.
But do you see what it is between this presidency and the other one on transparency? It's huge. Huge.
Yeah.
Trump's transparent in everything.
There's receipts for all of it. You hear about this new, and then we'll wrap it up. It's just a cool thing. You hear about the new F-47 fighter jet?
Yes, but he's making
stealth jet.
Uncle Ron tell me, yeah, but he says he's going to allow other countries to have, but making it a little bit less.
Wait, what?
It's ironic. 47th president, right?
Well, that's probably why they did that.
But he says he's making it available to other countries, but it's going to be not as
powerful.
Right.
Okay. I mean, they were saying, I mean, there's not even a picture of it. They just had like a design of it, but apparently they're making them all. And it's the first new stealth bomber in like 20, or stealth jet in like 20 years it's been developed, which is really cool.
He's a fucking beast.
Apparently they've been secretly developing it. It's been flying secretly for 5 years now. They've had this plane. So it's like, I don't know. That's just crazy shit. That could be like some of the UFOs and shit that people have been seeing.
Who knows?
Stealth bombers are sick. Like the SR-71, is that the... Wow, if I got that right, that'd be sick. Yes, I got it right.
You need help.
The SR-71 is like the coolest thing in the entire world.
Oh, it's a beast.
That's the coolest thing
How
ever.
many have of those?
Not a lot. I don't even know.
What do they do?
They're stealth.
What does that mean?
They can go so high and so fast that radar and satellites can't pick them up. So they can fly like over China. Nowadays, it's harder. But when these were developed in like the 90s, it would fly over Russia and it could take a bunch of pictures and Russia would never have known we were there. Because it's going so fast.
But also it has weapons on it, right?
I don't know if the Blackbird... No, I think this says long-range, high-altitude Mach 3 strategic reconnaissance aircraft. Was known for its speed and altitude capabilities, capable of reaching speeds over 2,200 miles per hour and altitudes above 80,000 feet. So it's almost in space.
What pilot can do that?
Especially trained.
They're coming out with Top Gun, the second half of Top Gun 3, I heard. It's coming out. Is it coming out in May?
Top Gun, another Top Gun.
The second half, remember?
It's not a second half.
Yeah, didn't it end?
No, it ended.
I don't think it did. It was like, I don't know if I agree with you.
Maybe. I don't think these things are flown anymore. But the thing is, like, they only release these. They only let us know about them after they've used them to their, you know what I mean?
Smart. That's where that should not be transparent. I agree with that.
The one that Trump announced, like, they've definitely been using this for years. He said we've been testing it for 5 years. Like, they've definitely flown that shit over China and Iran and all this stuff. And now they're just coming
China and all have the.
Of course they do. Of course. And they go so fast and so high that you don't know they're there. That's so
Isn't that
cool.
wild?
And also, look how fucking cool it looks.
It looks like a penis.
And then there's another one. So this one was just for pictures. It was just to take pictures and images and whatever. But there's a stealth bomber that I forget what it's called. Look at that. The Northrop B-2. That one is the same idea, but instead of taking pictures, it's to fly over a country before they even realize that we're there and drop a bomb. Also, it's like the fact that they made it look so cool.
So cool.
They didn't have, like, I don't know, did they make it look that cool, or is it just
they had to?
Or is it just physics?
So here's the other thing what's amazing. Here's
so all of the different stealth ones.
Wait, here's what's so cool about it. You ready?
Cool.
Somebody thinks of it and actually makes it work.
Right. And then it actually can work.
That's amazing. That shows you how brilliant people are.
Have you seen this? Let's do B2 versus Falcon. Okay, look. This is the fastest bird in the world, the peregrine falcon.
Wait, that's a bird?
Yeah. That's the fastest bird in the entire world, the peregrine falcon. That's the bomber.
Oh, they did that. They smart.
But isn't that so cool? It's like physics. Like they
looked at nature.
Right. They modeled it. There's another one of it.
It's literally exactly it.
Of its like dive. as it dives. It's the exact same shape as the bird. And this is the fastest animal in the entire world.
How do you know that?
The peregrine falcon.
And Hannah was right. Married a nerd.
Isn't that so cool, though, just to like realize, wow, they literally, the
But
fastest
doesn't that
plane
make
we've
sense?
ever built is the exact same shape as the fastest animal. It's like nature perfected this speed.
Yes.
And we just copied it.
Well, don't we take a lot of our medicine from nature? Don't we take a lot of the scientific stuff to find out how like a reptile could get its tail cut off and regenerate it? I mean, they search that stuff all the time.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So nature, or God, if you believe in it, is the best creator.
Was the perfect designer.
Yep.
But that's why things are designed so perfectly. Like the human body works so well, and it's so complicated that it leads a lot of people to believe, like,
There's something
I don't
higher.
want to believe in God, but like, how the fuck are we sitting here having this conversation about idea? Like, how is that
I know.
possible?
Or what about Earth?
Right.
Perfect.
And that everything work, like,
Perfect.
we have plants that heal us. We have plants that feed us.
You have plants that survive in the water.
Everything just
in the
works.
water. Like crazy shit.
Yeah.
But then the human brain, it acts like God, does things that are unbelievable.
That it's like, how the fuck?
We've exceeded what God didn't want us to get to Mars.
Yeah, well, that's like the whole Prometheus story. What was just talking about Prometheus?
I saw Alien, that stupid one,
The new
on
one?
the plane
Oh, stupid? I thought that movie was amazing.
with the kids.
Yeah.
It was interesting. The spiders
Romulus,
are free.
and
Wow.
Romulus.
I
I thought
saw-
that movie was
Okay.
fantastic.
I also
It felt like it was a movie from the 80s.
Yes,
it felt
it did.
old
Okay.
school.
I saw the movie with not the Coven, the religious one, the Pope
Conclave?
Conclave.
Loved it.
Interesting.
The last 10 minutes, it was like different kind of movie.
But yes,
Up until then, I was like, this is a
but
fantastic
I
movie.
thought at first he's a great actor.
All of them. The
Yeah.
acting was phenomenal.
No, it was. I thought it was good.
It was just really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And
I learned.
the politics. Yeah.
You learned a
The
lot.
politics between it. You almost got a conclave when you were in
Yes.
Italy.
But it shows you the difference of like people not knowing the fiduciary, the role, because they're still human beings. No matter what religion, they're still human
Right.
beings.
Even though they're the
There's a-
highest of the high,
there's
they
a
still
human
have ego. And
it's all about personalities.
yes.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And apparently, like, people were talking about, potential conclave when the Pope was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And the two front runners suspected were an African one and an Asian one. And I was like, wow, the movie's coming true. Not that there was an Asian one. The
Interesting.
African guy
But
was
then
like,
you heard the other guy, the Italian guy saying it should be the Italian and old school and not this. I mean, you can understand. but that's-
Tedesco.
You can understand that side too, though.
Yes. Yes. Like, there's so much history and tradition. This entire thing for
Well, we have
1,000
you have
years.
a Muslim that converted to Judaism. Now it's going to be running the Israel.
Right, what's so bad about letting like the Pope be Catholic? Right? Like, what's so bad
but
about
I tend
that?
to agree with that.
Yeah.
That's why I think that
I mean, the fact that they made him vape was a weird choice. That one was vaping.
yeah,
It's a weird choice.
yeah, I
for
agree.
that.
Why do that?
Yeah, I don't know. Especially the fact that he was supposed to be like the old school traditional one.
But he didn't look like with the hair, with the glasses. He should have made I thought a little bit more like older. Yeah.
I think they were just trying to make it seem like
And
he was
even
like
the
right
fucking guy, what's the guy, Lithgow?
Yeah, John Lithgow.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it was. Those stories were very interesting.
I thought it was a great movie. People should watch it. It was I thought really
I liked
well
it.
made,
I liked
well
it.
written,
I
well
liked
acted.
that. I watched it on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. I love you,
All right.
everybody.
Love you
Thanks.
too.
Talk to you guys soon. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.